and gentlemen, and all the others. This is Alex, W7FTM, along with Vicky, K8VKY. We will be your net control for the Saturday Night Trivia Net number 163. This is a direct net, so all traffic should go through net control. Does anyone have any emergency traffic they were holding until the start of the net? If so, please come now. If you do have an emergency at any time during the net, just say break, identify your station, and we will come to your assistance immediately. The format of the net is live trivia. One random question will be read to each person who checks in. You'll have 4 answers to select from. And tonight's topic, History of the World, Part 2. We did Part 1 a couple of months ago. History of the World is mainly dealt with governments and wars and all the other good stuff. Tonight's Chapter 2 will be about religion. And those of you who just freaked out, these questions are all secular questions. And nobody's making any comparisons or saying one's better than the other. I just want to know how much you know about the religions of the world. Which sort of leads to our question of the night. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? And if you saw the little icons I have in the net log, you'll see, if you look closely, one is a guy dressed up as a disco dancer from the 70s, and the other one is the same guy, older now, putting his palm to his forehead, wondering how he could have been that way. But anyway, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? And let's see who has checked in so far. And via the text and email lines, we have German George in Scottsdale, Arizona, plays by email, got his question correct, KJ6ARR. His response to the question of the night was he's still looking for the gold mine over in Apache Junction. Well, it shouldn't surprise him. George in Kawagoe, Japan, checked in via email too, JR2FJI. He says weight gain. He wouldn't believe how much weight he's gained. I think a lot of us can agree with that one. N6MOT Laval in Monterey, California. KK7HLB Dave in Portland, Oregon. KN6MIK Mike in San Diego. V3RWJ Chris in Ancaster, Ontario. KK7ABK Victoria in Phoenix. K8 BYU Roy in Blasdell, New York. And W9MKE Nicholas, Madison, Wisconsin. KK7NXV Timothy in Tillamook. KI7 Don in Kennewick, Washington. N7FGP Scott, our facilitator in Jamestown, New York. You have Lawrence in Bryson City, North Carolina. KR4. Oh, I got it right this time, Lawrence. Welcome back. Steve in Easton, Pennsylvania, WB3ILA. Alex in Pasadena, Texas, KD5AJZ. Dennis in Wabash, Indiana, KD0TNB. Robert Kelleridge, Australia, VK2. DY West in Grants Pass, Oregon, KD6EAR, Fred in Reno, K7FPS, let me drop. Right then, Stephanie and Larry in Elk Grove, California, KN6GLW and KN6GLX, Frank in Lancaster, New York, KC2JPQ. Steve in Houston, Texas, N5ZUA. Chris in Hollywood, Florida, KQ4UPK. Dean, Comac, New York. KE2IPJ, welcome to the net, Dean. Alan in Happy Valley, Oregon, N7WZI. Robert in Rockford, Illinois, KK7YHB, welcome to the net, Robert. And Craig in Antioch, Illinois, KD9UQE. That's who I have so far. Anybody else like to check into the net? Full call sign. Phonetically twice, please. WX9IDX.
Whiskey 9 Delta Whiskey Hotel. Whiskey 9 Delta Whiskey Hotel.
UX9.
Number 6 Kilo November Echo.
WX9 India Tango X-ray.
And FYI, I missed the question.
The WX9 station, can you try it again? I didn't quite get your call sign.
WX9, India Tango X-ray.
Okay, Rachel, I always do that. I got it that time. All right, anyone else? Full call sign phonetically twice.
Whiskey 9, Juliet, Whiskey November. Kilo Bravo Charlie, Golf Uniform, Fox. QBC, GUF, good evening. W7FTM, Alex, you there?
Yes, I am, and yeah, we hear you okay on this end. Yeah, well, no problem.
All right, sounds good.
Yes, I agree with that on this end too. All right, that's we also have. Let's see, we have yeah. Now I'm confused. Hang on a second. Let me go back up this list. All right, we have Craig and oh, we got Craig. Peter in Delvin, Wisconsin, WX9IDX. We have David, Norrisboro, Kentucky, W9WH. Welcome back, David. Ken in Victorville, California, N6KNE. I haven't heard you in a while, Ken, and welcome to the net. Rachel, Tinley Park, Illinois, WX9ITX. James in Lake in the Hills, Illinois, W9GWN. Welcome to the net, of course. And John in South St. Paul, Minnesota, KB0GUF. A science guy here on the net tonight. That is cool. All right. The question of the night again is, if your past self met you today, what would surprise you the most? And we're doing History of the World, Part 2 or Chapter 2, Religions of the World. Little Owl, Monterey, California, N6MOT, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I didn't get the question of the day. Can you give me that again?
Yeah, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Biggest head of hair back in the 70s, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I went to, there's a girl that I liked that liked disco dancing, and I went because she liked to do it, and boy, did I feel out of place. But the big hair was in back then, too, I think. All right, Lil, your question is, what is the sacred river of Hinduism? What's their sacred river? Is it A, the Nile, B, the Ganges, C, the Amazon, or D, the eBay?
I like the eBay. That's a good one. I think I'm going to go with the Ganges. I'm just going to roll the dice and guess at it. I'll go with the Ganges. All right, thanks for everything. 7-3, everybody.
Yep, that's the one. The Ganges is a sacred river of Hinduism. And by the way, if you ever visit India, be sure to first pick up a copy of A Definitive Guide to India, The Hindus and the Hindon'ts. You won't be sorry. For example, the Hindu, that last joke would be it. Thank you, Lal.
Probably wait, and the fact that I'm still alive. How's that? Back to you, KK78.
Yeah, how about that? As Andre cusses, it did stuff we probably shouldn't have done, when we were younger, and here we are still around, whereas the, well, people that didn't do all those things, they may have passed already. You know, it didn't always work that way, but please take care of yourself. Your question is, who is considered the founder of Buddhism? The founder of Buddhism, is that A, Buddha, B, Confucius, C, the Dalai Lama, or D, Siddhartha?
Oh, man, you know, I gotta say, if I remember right, Buddha was not the one that started it. It was the traditions of somebody else. So I'm just going to say D, because after all, that's my initial. There can't be anything wrong with that. And, I don't think it matters how much hair you have left. Some people try a little too hard to conceal the fact they don't have it. It's not worth it. Sorry, take me some of these films.
Yep, a good outlook in Buddhist philosophy. I think you got a point there. It is Siddhartha. Yeah, Siddhartha founded the Buddha in the 6th century BC. His full name was Siddhartha Gautama. But yeah, Buddha didn't found it. Somebody else said, "Hey, I like this guy, what he's doing," and that's how it started. Thank you, Dave. Mike in San Diego, KN6 MIK. Mike, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? What would they say? What TF about?
Good evening, Alex. Always a pleasure. KN6 MIK, Mike here in San Diego. Probably my weight loss, which attributes to my overall health. Fire away, brother.
All right, Mike. Yeah, that weight will probably be coming up a lot, either pro or con. Your question is, who was given the 10 Commandments? Was it A, Abraham, B, Moses, C, David, or D, Benjamin Franklin?
Well, according to what I know, I'm going to have to go with Moses. KN6 MIK. Great job, Alex.
Moses, indeed. Yes, it was Moses who was given the 10 Commandments. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Chris in Ancaster, Ontario, Canada, V3RWJ. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
I was across the room, Alex. What was the question?
If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Oh boy, that I look basically the same, I think. I don't actually know, but I think if you ask people who know me, they'd say you pretty much look the same as you did 30 years ago. So I figure that's a good thing.
And then there are those who spend hours in front of the mirror, guys I'm talking about, that, your question is, speaking of Moses, what mountain did Moses receive the 10 Commandments on? Yeah, where did he get the 10 Commandments? A, was it Mount Sinai? B, Mount Carmel? C, Mount Zion? Or D, Magic Mushroom Mountain? Isn't that a ride at Disneyland? So, what do you think, Chris?
Probably D. I think mushrooms were involved in a lot of those stories, but I'm going to try A. I really don't know, so I'll try A.
Very good, Chris. You are correct. Yeah, Mount Sinai is where Moses received the 10 Commandments, according to the Bible. Now, Moses was actually way ahead of his time. He had the first tablet that could connect to the cloud. Good for him. Victoria in Phoenix, KK7AVK. If you if your past self met you today, what would surprise her the most?
Good evening, Alex. This is Victoria, KK7LBK. Probably the weight gain, because I used to be very skinny. Now I'm not. I'll just put it nicely like that. Back to you.
Yeah, we never think it's going to happen to us, but I wouldn't worry, Victoria. You're not. Anyway, I won't go there. That's personal. Your question is, what is the Holy Book of Islam? I say it in the most complimentary way. What is the Holy Book of Islam? Is it A, the Torah, B, the Bhagavad Gita, C, the Quran, or D, the Watchtower?
Well, let's go with Charlie, if that's the one that I know of. And let's hope it's not wrong. Thanks, Alex. Have a great evening. KK780K, back to net.
Thank you, Victoria, and you're correct. Yeah, the Holy Book of Islam is the Quran. You are correct. Anybody who's watched politics here would know that. Not even have to be Victoria. This is W7FTM along with K8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast. Reflector going to Roy in Blasdell, New York, K8 BYU. Once again, Roy, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Good evening, Alex and everybody. KA8 BYU. I don't know. Probably not too far different from what I was back then. As far as like, yeah, hair and all that. Just it's a little grayer than it was. Back to you. What's my question?
Well, congratulations, Roy. Those treatments are working out for you. No, it's pretty cool, man. It's actually, I'm surprised my hair isn't grayer. After all these years. Your question is, what is considered the holiest city in Judaism? Is it A, Rome, B, Jerusalem, C, Athens, or D,
I believe that would be Jerusalem.
It's the holiest city in Judaism? You're correct. Thank you. Well, so far everybody's aced these. Well, I don't want to jinx the next person, but Nicholas in Madison, Wisconsin, W9 MKE, you're up. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? Nicholas in Madison, W9 MKE.
Hi, Alex. Sorry about that. I was on HF radio there for a second, getting somebody in Cyprus. Yeah, my answer to that question would be I'm middle-aged and still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. What's my question, Alex?
Yeah, another one that a lot of us child men can relate to. Your question is, hang on a second, here we are. How many books are in the Protestant Bible? How many books are in that Protestant Bible? Is it A, 39, B, 54, C, 66, or D, one really, really long one?
goodness, the Protestant Bible. That could be that. Is there a specific Protestant Bible? I feel like there's many different Protestant Bibles. Anything that's not the King James Bible is a Protestant Bible, right? Say 34 books, possibly. That's my answer. W9NT.
Well, they might have all the same books, but it's not 34. There's 39, 54, or 66. Or one really, really long one.
Okay, then I'll say the 39 is my answer. Sorry.
Sorry, you
Thank you, Nicholas. Actually, there are 66 books in the Protestant Bible. Yeah, 66. Some people say it's worth it, but again, I'm offering an opinion. Let's see. I'll get back to Cyprus, man. That's cool. Making a contact this late. Good luck on the HF. Thanks again, Timothy and Tillamook, KK7NXV. Hey, then Timothy, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
This is KK7NXV. Well, it's a tie between the amount of tattoos and what I thought was so important back then is not as important today.
Yeah, it's funny how that changes as you get older. When you're like a teenager, or just out of high school or college, it's... Oh, yeah, never mind. I probably shouldn't go there. The question, Timothy, is... What is the Jewish Sabbath or day of rest? Is it A, Saturday, B, Sunday, C, Friday, or D, payday?
I'm going to guess Saturday. KK7NXV, back to net 73.0.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, Saturday is the Sabbath, a day of rest for the Jewish faith, as is the Seventh-day Adventists, too, I believe, and maybe a couple other religions in there. But thank you. Of course, we Protestants pick Sunday because we want to be different. Thank you. Thank you, Timothy. Don in Kennewick, Washington, KI7ZRI. Don, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? I don't have any idea what would surprise you more than you could have been the way you were. And anyway, what do you say?
Hey there, Alex. First off, payday for Sabbath is way too funny. I am definitely laughing out loud with that. So I would say you ain't the most academic, especially compared to Dorothy's family, but you've held your own. So that's exactly what I would say. And Dorothy's still with you too, which is an extra bonus.
What is wrong with that? Well, anyway, that's good. I'm glad you found one that can tolerate you like I did. So, your question, Don, is which religion worships Ahura Mazda as the supreme deity? Yeah, that's a tough one. Which religion worships Ahura, Ahura, Mazda, Mazda, as supreme deity? Is that A, Jainism, B, Zoroastrianism, C, Shinto, or D, the Church of the Rotary Engine? Who worships Mazda?
I did have an RX-7, so I am tempted to say D, but let's go with Zoroastrianism. Thanks for doing that there, Alex.
Way to go, Don. I don't think I could have pulled that one out myself. Yeah, it says Zoroastrianism. You got it. Thank you. Thank you, Don. Scott, Jamestown, New York. N7FGP, our facilitator who works, several networks. The others shall remain nameless. If you met your past self today, what would surprise them the most?
Romeo, United Bravo.
Hang on a second, we're doing a net. If you want to check in later, just please feel free and we'll get you a trivia question. Scott in Jamestown, 10-7 FGP.
Sorry about that, Alex. My everything just seemed to want to reboot it at once there. But anyhow, probably that my hair is so short. I thought I would be able to see my ears again after high school.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. It's my high school graduation picture. My mother told me, you know, you're going to be sorry someday you didn't get the haircut for that picture. And I said, no, Mom, it's going to be in style a long time. Yeah, they were right, of course. She was, I think the parents usually are. Your question, Scott, is, okay, what instrument was Joshua's army said to use around Jericho? Was it A, drums, B, trumpets, C, flutes, or D, Jews' harps?
I guess I'll go with trumpets on that. Thanks for doing the net.
Yeah, like the Johnny Cash song explains or mentions. Yeah, it is, yeah, trumpets, you got it. Although Jews' harps wasn't funny, never mind. Thank you, Scott. Lawrence in Bryson City, North Carolina, KR4, BGL. Hey, welcome back, Lawrence. If your past self met you today, I know that hasn't been a whole long time, but what would surprise them the most? Hey, Larry, Bryson City, North Carolina, KR4 BGL. Okay, you probably found something more important to do, and we'll probably check in later. We'll give him an in and out for now. How about Steve in Easton, Pennsylvania, WB3ILA? If your past self met you today, what would surprise the heck out of him?
Evening, Alex, Vicky, and everyone on the air. My answer would be that I'm just as broke as I was back then. Back to you for my question, Alex.
Yeah, what's up with that? We were supposed to all, be prosperous and chase the dream and pull ourselves up by our bootstrap. Maybe because I never wore boots. That could be the problem. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Your question is, which religion traditionally keeps sacred fires burning in their temples? Another one I didn't know. Is it A, Zoroastrianism, B, Taoism, C, Rastafarianism, for the or D, the Barbecue Society?
The A answer there, you broke up a little. Can you read those again, please?
You bet. Zoroastrianism, Taoism, or Taoism, Rastafarianism, or the Barbecue Society?
It's the last two. The Rastafarians wouldn't be a fire; it'd be something else burning. I'm going to pick B for my answer. Back to you.
Well, Steve, I had to include at least two questions where the answer was Zoroastrianism because it's such a cool-sounding name. That's who it is. The Zoroastrians keep sacred fires burning in their temples all the time. The monks probably light candles in the Taoism, remember Kung Fu. But I probably shouldn't do another Rastafarian joke. Thank you. Thank you. I don't want to upset our many Rastafarian listeners. Alex in Pasadena, Texas, KD5AJZ. Alex, if your past self met you today, what would surprise the heck out of them?
Well, it would either be you're still flexible or where'd all your hair go? Really can't decide between the two. Ready for my question, Alex?
All right, Alex, think carefully on this one. Which Old Testament prophet built an ark? Was that A, Moses, B, Elijah, C, Noah, or D, Indiana Jones?
No Rastafarian. Great as always, Alex. Religion's a tough one to call. It's risky. KD5AJZ, back to you.
Well, you've been getting the really hard ones lately. That one, yeah, it's Noah. As everyone knows, Indiana Jones didn't build an ark; he raided one. So it's, thank you, Alex. All right, this is W7FTM along with Vicky, KE8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector. Topic tonight is the history of the world. Part 2, we're doing world religions. And question of the night, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? And what do you say, Dennis in Wabash, Indiana, KD0TNB?
Good evening, and everybody on the net. KD0TNB. If I'd have to say, I believe my old or younger self, I would say, would be highly impressed the fact that we're able to get an amateur radio license without Morse code today. Over.
Yeah, boy, it's so good they did that, even though a lot of people say it's terrible they did that. Well, anyway, I won't go with that argument, but you're correct. I was in Boys Club when I was a young man, had a ham radio in there, and I thought that was so cool. And the director of the club, was probably a general, but they would tap out Morse code and told me, I have to learn Morse first. And I thought at the time I couldn't do that, and then ironically later on, when I actually could do that, they dropped the requirement. So what do you know? All right, your question is, what is the Sikh place of worship called? The Sikh, IKH place of worship called? A Gurdwara, and B, a mosque, C, a temple, or D, they don't know, they're still seeking it. Sorry.
That's some good suggestions there. I think I will have to go with B as in Bravo. Over.
Actually, the Sikh place of worship is called a Gurdwara, Gurdwara. Now, come on, everybody knows that, Dennis. Yeah. Thank you for playing, buddy. Appreciate it. Now, Robert in Kelly Ridge, Australia, he knew what a Gurdwara was. VK2DY, Robert, if your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most? That you're living in Australia and not Indiana, or wherever you're from?
I got it. Good afternoon, Alex. This is Robert, VK2DY. There's actually a Gurdwara about 5 kilometers from my house. They offer free food on the weekends. It's kind of a neat place, actually. Anyway, but to the question, yeah, I think probably the fact that I'm living in Australia and not in Wisconsin. I really thought that I was going to live my entire life in Madison, Wisconsin, and it's been many, many years since I've set foot there. But yeah, that would really surprise the earlier me. VK2DY.
bet you're really happy about that now. Yeah, I know, no political commentaries allowed. Your question is, in Japanese Shinto, what are kami, K-A-M-I? Are they A, priests, B, sacred spirits or divine beings, C, sacred books, or D, small cameras worn around the neck?
VK2DY. I think they're sacred spirits, VK2DY.
And you are correct, sir. Is anybody who's seen any of the Spirited Away, Mazu, I can't think of the guy that does the movies right now, but Spirited Away or My Friend Totoro or excellent animation movies, yeah, they're spirits. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Robert. Wes in Grants Pass, Oregon, KD6EIR. Hey, welcome back, buddy. If your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most? That you're not quite, that you're almost famous and not famous yet? Of course, maybe you are, you're just not telling us.
No, I'm not famous. I mean, locally, there's probably 20 or 30 people that know who I am. And I didn't think I'd be famous either. Maybe that was my problem. I should have imagined it more, right? I think my past self would be, I'm going to say this with as little self-pity as possible. I think my past self would be surprised at the solitude I've achieved. In other words, I thought I'd have family around me by now, or still, let's say. What's my question? Good question. I like the subject.
I'm kind of surprised I have a family around. It's not very big, but all right, Wes, I won't cry in my beer. Your question is, which of the 10 Commandments says not to steal? And think of them now. I know you know them all. Which of the 10 Commandments says do not steal? A, the third, fourth, C, the eighth, or D, the fifth, which also gives you protection from incriminating yourself when attempting to cull the population with a deadly vaccine. What do you say, Wes?
Oh, man. I usually get your questions right, but I think I'm going to get this one wrong. I think I know them all. I just don't know the order. I should plead the fifth. Let's go with the fifth, simply because, that's the way you roll. You make a funny comment, turns out to be the right answer. I love your net. Back to net KD6EIR.
I had to make this one really difficult. It's actually the 8th commandment. It says you should not steal. Apparently it wasn't high up. I think adultery comes even before that, but of course adultery meant something different back in those days, which I won't get into because it'll upset people. But anyway, thank you, Wes. I'm glad you can make the net and keep trying for fame. You'll make it someday. It just takes longer for some people than others. Thank you, Fred in Reno, Nevada, K7FBS. If your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most?
K7FPS, Fred in Reno Mobile. That probably I didn't get into ham radio sooner. And I don't want to go into the part B of the plan B of my answer. K7FPS, back to net with third-party traffic following.
All right, Fred, you gave a nice, safe answer. Okay. Yeah, just kidding. Your question is, what is the holiest month in Islam? The holiest month in Islam. Is it A, Muharram, B, Ramadan, C, Shawwal, or D, February?
I'm going with Bravo on that one. K7FPS. Back to net, and Jane may pick up at the radio.
Thank you, Fred. You are correct. Yeah, it is Ramadan is the holiest month in Islam. Not February, but it's. All right, Jane. The question of the night, of course, is if your past self met you today, what surprised them the most? I'm so tempted to say something about Fred, but I won't. But you tell me. Jane, are you losing your religion? Are you with us?
A carrier, but no audio.
That is true. One more time, Jane, and then we'll have to move on. Yeah, maybe later she can get in. Next up, we have Stephanie and Larry in Elk Grove, California, KN6JLW and KN6 in JLX. Your past selves met yourselves today. What would surprise them the most?
Hi, Alex and Vicki and everyone on the net. This is Stephanie, KN6JLW, and Larry, KN6JLX. We would not be surprised that we're celebrating our 23rd anniversary today. But I would be surprised that we have cats. I was allergic to them and didn't like them. And Larry says that he still lives in California. Go ahead.
Stephanie, yours I can understand, but Larry, why? No, it's all right. You're in Elk Grove. That's got the taxes alone in the game. All right, I won't go there. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. And your question is, someone once said that the difference between science and religion is that science flies you to the moon while religion flies you into buildings. I don't know if I agree with that completely, but some people might. And your question is, the Western Wall is located in which city? A, Rome, B, Cairo, C, Jerusalem, or D, Tijuana?
Charlie, so with Alex. Thanks for doing that. Have a great week.
Yeah, I doubt if I'll ever get the wall built in Tijuana, but you're correct. It is Jerusalem. Thank you, guys. Thanks for playing. This is W7FDM along with KE8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Tribune on the East Coast Reflector, and we're going to Frank in Lancaster, New York. Of course, KC2JPQ. If your past self met you today, Frank, what would surprise them the most?
Good evening, Alex and Vicki and everybody on the Trivia Net. My past self would be surprised that I still enjoy listening to the Beatles. Back to KC2JPQ.
I tell you what, Frank, I do too. So it's maybe not the early stuff, but nonetheless, well, I guess, come to think of it, yeah, some of the early stuff too. It's better because it was more innocent. So, all right, Frank, your question is, Mecca is located in which country? A, Detroit, B, Jordan, C, Egypt, or D, Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, hey there, Alex. I'll just take a wild guess. I'll say Egypt. And have a good week talking to you, and good job as usual. Send it back to the net, KC2JPQ.
Thank you, Frank. You missed it by that much. It's Saudi Arabia. Yeah, it's Mecca's located here, which is how the Saudis keep control of everything, and I won't go there either. That's probably too political. Thank you, Frank. Steve in Houston, N5ZUA. All right, Steve, if your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most?
Well, good evening, Alex. Steve in Houston here. Probably that Gordon West, WB6NOA, would be one of the volunteer examiners who administered my general exam that I passed, and he signed my CE, which I think I framed that somewhere. Anyway, I'm beginning to wonder if you're turning into a communist or not, Alex. After all, how can you do questions about history of the world part 2 without a Mel Brooks question? Come on now. But I'm ready for mine.
That's because Brooks is very, very touchy about his copywritten material, and I wouldn't dare go there. Mel who? Yep. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, he's a great guy. He comes to the Hamfest out here in Arizona, of course, as you know, and he was at courtside, and I'll let you take a picture with him. So, your question is, according to the Old Testament, who was swallowed by a great fish? A, Daniel, B, Samson, C, Jonah, or D, Captain Ahab?
Okay, don't know what that key up was from another node there, but let's go with Alpha on that one. N5ZUA, thanks.
Although they've changed it, or they look at it as a whale these days, it was actually, the Old Testament was a great fish. It swallowed Jonah. And, yeah, he apparently wasn't doing what the Old Testament God wanted him to, and he had to spend all that time in the belly of the great fish. So, thank you. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. And going next to Chris in Hollywood, Florida, KQ4UPK. If your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most? That you're an amateur radio, maybe? I don't know. Tell me.
Hey, Alex, everybody on the net. I have to be honest. I think that my past self would be surprised that I am the man that I am today.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Of course, that can work both ways, but it's cool. Your question is, which religion follows the Eightfold Path? Eightfold Path, is that A, Hinduism, B, Buddhism, C, Judaism, or C, Octogenarianism?
The Eightfold Path.
It's the Eightfold Path. Did you get the answer? Chris, are you passing on a question? Come on, take a guess.
No, I'm not passing on a question. This is very odd. I don't know why it's not transmitting. But if you can hear me this time, I said Buddhism.
Oh yeah, I guess it was some interference. You're correct. Yeah, Buddhism follows the eightfold path to religion. Thank you, Chris. Very good. That was a tough one. You know, I once opened a tub of stock margarine, and it looked like the face of Jesus inside. I showed it to my Indian friend, and he said, "I can't believe it's not Buddha." Sorry. Dean in Comac, New York, KE2IPJ. Dean, welcome to the net. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
KE2IPJ. My past self would be happily surprised about meeting the woman that I married. I've got a good wife, and my old self would be really surprised that I got someone so great. Over.
She's sitting next to you, isn't she? That's okay. I understand, Dean. I've been lucky in that department myself. So, your question is, what is the first book of the Bible? Is it A, Genesis, B, Exodus, C, Psalms, or D, the Start Guide? The Lord knows us so well.
Over.
Now I'm talking about the Rastafarian Bible. No, you're right. It is Genesis. Yep, thank you. Thank you, Dean. Yeah, come back next Saturday. You know, I have a tougher question for you. Alan, Happy Valley, Oregon, N7WZI. Welcome back, Alan. And if your past self met you today, what would surprise the heck out of him?
Yeah, how stoic I have become. Am I ready for that question now?
Did you say how stoic you've become? Or how, something else I won't repeat, how you become?
Yes, how stoic I have become.
Of course, some people would just say you're a grizzled old man, but that's all right. I get that a lot too. Your question is, which Hindu god is often called the preserver? The preserver, Hindu god. Is that A, Shiva, B, Vishnu, C, Brahma, or D, Nitrite?
I want to guess on the second one, Vishnu. That would be my only guess I've got.
Oh, come on, Alan. You knew that all along. Yes, it's Vishnu, is a Hindu god that's often called the preserver. I won't go into details right now. We're getting kind of late to the net, so thank you. Like I would know. Thank you, Alan. Next up, we have Robert, Rockford, Illinois, KK7YHP. Welcome to the net. I'm glad you're still here. And we're scared off by the questions yet. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
KK7, this is Robin and Rockford. Probably how settled down I am. I always traveled and kind of a nomad in my youth, and just got some acreage and starting to farm a bit.
from a biker to farmer, and I understand. I don't have enough land for a farm, but get you down, Robert. And your question is, well, I didn't know this one. Maybe you do. Cao Dai, CAODAI, originated in which country? Cao Dai. Is it A, Thailand, B, China, C, Vietnam, or D, California?
Well, definitely Southeast Asian. I'm going to go with what my teachers in grade school always told me. If you didn't know, go with C.
Yeah, B or C usually is what they tell you, and in this case it was C. Yeah, sorry. Vietnam, Cao, CAODAI, his religion originated in Vietnam. A side note, I ordered a chair for my desk from Amazon, and of course I thought I'd get one that was made in China, like most of the stuff. It was actually made in Vietnam, and it is much better constructed than anything I've ordered and had to put together from China. So they even gave me extra screws with the office chair. So that's, how often does that happen? Okay, thank you, Robert. I hope to hear you next week. Craig in Antioch, Illinois, KD9UQE. If your past self met you today, what would surprise him?
KD9UQE, Craig here, and returning. And I think after the obligatory open mouth and raised eyebrows, hopefully, after brief exchange, just be blown away about my reserved, calm, elder statesman shtick I've been trying to maintain instead of just under the surface bubbles the bewildered, somewhat forgetful, and frankly just dismayed old man. So I'm going to keep up the appearance for image sake, and hopefully I can remember to tap out some Morse code here and there, so as not to earn the frowns from the old timers at the club. Back to you, sir. I'm ready for a question. Oh my goodness.
Well said, Craig. We're supposed to get more stoic, more controlled, more self-disciplined as we get older. If you don't, you're kind of missing the reason you're here. But you're wild and young and crazy when you're young. Some people have the advantage of being self-disciplined when they're young, and kudos to them. Your question is, what is the Jewish New Year called? The Jewish New Year, Craig. Is it A, Hanukkah, B, Rosh Hashanah, C, Purim, or D, Bagel Appreciation Day?
Oh, I just hit the right button. I switched over to the QSO1 app. Marvelously, by the way, if you guys are frustrated with DV Switch. And being a somewhat Christian, especially Rosh Hashanah. There we go. It's a tongue twister, and I forgot which letter it was, but I remember the holiday. Thank you, Alex. Hey, great picture, by the way.
Hey, thank you, Craig. And you are correct. It's a Rosh Hashanah. You're dropping out a little bit, but we did get that. And it's the Jewish New Year. So if you watch the Chosen series, you would know that too. But it's another thing. That's another thing. Thank you, Craig. Peter at Delvan, Wisconsin, WX9. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them? I think that I'm still in broadcast radio. Oh, you're in broadcast radio too. That's cool. And also amateur. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Your question is, what is the Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca called? Yep, there's a name for that. Is it A, Umrah, B, Hajj, C, Eid, or D, Thanksgiving? One more time. Peter, you're on your way to the pilgrimage to Mecca. What is it called? Umrah, Hajj, Eid, EID, or Thanksgiving? I'll go with B, Raj. That's what I think it is, but I'm probably wrong. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? Probably nothing. Now, what do you say, David? Okay, the idea should be done. The wife should be through talking to him. David, W9DWH. Well, maybe later then. Ken in Victorville, California, N6, K&E, welcome to the net, and tell me if your past self met you today, what would surprise the heck out of him?
Well, hello, and surprise. I would say one, that I can talk around the world on using a Bofang 888. Number two, that I am retired and living in the East Andes Mountains in Colombia. That would surprise me. Go ahead with your question. I'll do my best.
Oh, that's right. We haven't invaded Colombia yet, have you? So that's very cool. And by the way, that's Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. Excellent. And you're part of the country where you're originally from. Your question is, which sea did Moses part according to the Bible? Which sea did he part? Was it A, the Red Sea, B, the Dead Sea, C, the better dead than Red Sea, or D, the Holy Sea?
I like my choices, but most definitely I'll go with A, the Red Sea. Thank you for taking my check-in. N6K&E, now to Columbia.
Thank you, Ken, and you are correct. Yeah, it was the Red Sea is when Moses parted, and I like how they did the original, the movie. I forget when it came out, but they shot air through Jello and made it look like it was parting. I thought that's pretty good special effects for the time. Thank you, Ken. You're correct. And next up, by the way, this is W7FT along with K8 VK wires into the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector. Rachel, Tinley Park, Illinois, WX9IX. Got it right that time. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
WX9 India Tango X-ray. First off, background. I'm totally blind, and so I have traveled to 10 different states. In 45 days, I will be making 45, you count tonight, 46 days, making my third cross-country move. I think I would say something like, wow, you can do that, or that's pretty inspiring. I don't know if I could do that. I didn't know I would ever do that, or something like that. Yeah, so something like that. Back over to you for my question.
Very good, Rachel. Getting experiences you might not, that most of us wouldn't be able to get, sighted or not. So, very good. By the way, you have a great voice. You probably heard that before. Your question is, which animal tempted Eve, according to the Old Testament? Which animal tempted Eve? Was it A, a cat, B, a serpent, B, a politician, that's the answer, B, or D, a unicorn?
Tempting, haha. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I think B was the snake, so I'll choose that. WX9, India Tango X-ray. Thanks for having me. Back to net control, and thank you for the compliment about my voice. All right, back to net control. Thank you.
And thank you, Rachel. You are correct. Yeah, it was a serpent that tempted Eve. Some say a snake, some say it's actually a serpent, according to the actual Old Testament. And nowadays it's C, but I won't go there. James, Lake in the Hills, Illinois, if I got that right, W9JWN, welcome to the Trivia Nets. And tell me, if your pet self met you today, what would surprise them the most? James, Lake in the Hills, Illinois, W9JWN, or anything close to that in case I got the call sign wrong. Again, maybe later. John, South St. Paul, Minnesota. Oh, John, KB0, GUF. Welcome back to the net. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Well, good evening, Alex, Vicky, and everyone on Science Fiction Night tonight. If my past self met me, they would be amazed that I could still form a complete sentence. And what would my question be, sir?
Okay, John. All right, hang on a second. You know what you call somebody who sits on the fence about religion, but argues against both sides anyway? Antagonistic. Antagonistic, I'm sorry. Blew the joke. John, your question is, which Japanese religion centers on reverence for spirits? Don't knock the Japanese now. Is it A, the Saki Society, B, Jainism, C, Sikhism, or D, Shinto?
Well, this is definitely miles from what I would, I'm just going to guess and go with D, Delta, Shinto. I have no clue. Just a wild guess. Thanks for having me. 7-3s, everybody. KB0GUF, back to you, sir.
Thank you, John. I'm not buying it. You're a deeply religious man. You're just saying so because you don't want anyone to know. It is a Shinto, yep. It's the Shinto religion, which centers on a reverence for spirits in Japan. Again, you saw Miyazaki's movies. You know that's correct. Expressed in a good way, by the way. Thank you, John. Leo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Hey, welcome back, Leo. K4ITA. If your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most?
Good evening. Good evening, Alex. Good evening, Vicky. It's nice to be back in the net after a short vacation. I miss you guys. And myself would say, what? You are living in America? I'm the first member of my family living outside Italy. Back to you, Alex, with the question. Thank you.
I'm going to get over there eventually, Leo, and try some of the food at that restaurant. My wife and I both would hope to get there before it's too late for us. Your question is, which apostle is traditionally considered the first pope? So you might know this. Is it A, Peter, B, Andrew, C, John, or D, the original Godfather?
Okay, I go with Peter, St. Peter. Nice talking to you, Alex, and talk to you next week. K4ITA.
Yes, Leo, it is. Thanks for being here, buddy. Glad you can make it into the net. And next up we have Brian in Monticello, Kentucky, AC4. BR, Brian, if your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most?
Good evening, Alex and Vicky and everybody on the net. Well, that's a good question. I might be a bit surprised that I went through or went down the technology route for a career, possibly, but not terribly so. I guess I'll go with that. But I ended up with a technology career. What's my question tonight?
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Yeah, I still never made astronaut. Darn it. I guess you have to be smart to do that too. So, your question is, who defeated Goliath? Who defeated Goliath? Old Testament stuff again here. Was it A, Saul, B, David, C, Rambo, or D, Sambo?
Okay, that's where the interference came from, but that was David, which I think was Bravo. So that's my answer. We'll see you next week. AC4BR.
Thank you, Brian. You are correct. It was David who defeated Goliath with a sling, and it's kind of like the way the U.S. I probably shouldn't go there either. Teresa, College Station, Texas, K5MUX. If your past self met you today, what would surprise her the most?
This is KE5MUX, and my past self would be surprised by absolutely nothing. I'm still a loser. What's my question, Alex?
Yeah, some people are like that. That's good. You've kept a steady pace. Your question is, what is the longest book in the Bible? We talked about earlier how there were 6. What's the longest one? Is it A, Psalms, B, Isaiah, C, Genesis, or D, War and Peace?
I think War and Peace is just generally the longest book, but I think Bravo, if I remember correctly. Thank you for doing the net, Alex. 730 KE5MUX.
Psalms, it is one of the best, just personally speaking, uplifting parts of that, the Bible. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa. David, Owensboro, Kentucky. Maybe you got him back. W9DWH. All right, buddy, if your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most?
Good evening, Alex, and everyone on the net. Yeah, sorry about that. When I went to go key up, my internet connection decided it needed a break. So we got that fixed, and, Alex, I used to have a pair of jeans I'd like to wear to church. They were nice and comfortable, and, they had some rips there in the knees, and, my wife, was always mad at me for wearing them to church. I said, but honey, those are my holy pants. I'd be surprised, if I met my future self, I would probably be surprised I'm still alive after working 41 years at night shift.
Yeah, it's another one we wonder about. I agree. David, your question is, and by the way, I wanted to point out, religions are so different. And Jews do not recognize Christ, Anglicans don't recognize the Pope, and Baptists don't recognize each other at the liquor store. That goes. David, your question is, what is the Christian celebration of Jesus' resurrection? Now think carefully. Is it A, Black Friday, sale, B, Christmas, C, Pentecost, or D, Easter?
Alex, I believe that would be D, Easter, and if I got that wrong, my wife would probably hit me with the cast iron pan because her dad's a retired Baptist minister. So, all right, as always, Alex, thanks for hosting the net. Hope to catch everybody next week. W9 DWH.
And you are correct. I had to throw a few Christian questions in just to even it out a little bit. Yeah, it's Easter. Thanks. Thank you, David. And yeah, what those cast iron? This cast iron. My wife upgraded to this weird copper type pans that she saw online, and they're not as painful. So, all right, that's the end of the list. This is W7FTM along with KE8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, and taking 1 second. Full call sign phonetically twice, please.
Victor Echo 3 Whiskey Victor Juliet. Victor Echo 3 Whiskey Victor Juliet.
Kilo 7 Papa Charlie Hotel. Kilo 7 Papa Charlie Hotel.
Whiskey Alpha Juliet Victor W2 AJC.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Golf Tango Whiskey. Kilo, Foxtrot 8, Golf Tango Whiskey.
Oscar 4, Lima Bravo Mike.
Whiskey Alpha 5, Charlie Bravo Whiskey, WA5CW. I'm not sure if I missed you. My node rebooted a couple of times.
Yeah, no problem, Jerry. We got you now. And we'll go ahead and stop it right there. We have picked up V3WVJ Bill in Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. We have Mike in Green Valley, Arizona. Michael KK7PCH. Welcome back. Anthony in Atco, New Jersey. W2AJV. David in Toledo. KF8GTW. Ray in Leesburg, Florida. KO4 LBM. And Jerry in Alvin, Texas. WA5CBW. Question of the night is, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? And the topic of the night is religious history. Let's go to Bill, V3WVJ.
V3WVJ, Bill here. And if my past, if I could think of one question, it would be, no matter how much I tugged on it, it wasn't going to get any bigger. And religious question. Go ahead.
Let me see. How can I word this? Religion is kind of like the male appendage. It's fine to have one. It's fine to be proud of it. But please don't take it out in public and start waving it around. That's not right. Okay, Bill, your question is, here we are. Which tree's leaves are sacred because the Buddha attained enlightenment beneath one? Kind of a switch. Was it A, the oak tree, B, the Bodhi or Bodhi tree, C, the cedar tree, or D, the apple tree? Don't worship under the apple tree with anyone else. But what do you say, Bill?
I'm gonna say the oak tree. V3WVJ.
No, maybe in Mormonism, but actually it was the Bodhi or Bodhi tree is sacred in Buddhism because Buddha attained enlightenment beneath one. So, thank you, Bill. Michael, Green Valley, Arizona, KK7PCH. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
My answer would be that I never got married.
How did you swing that? I said I would never get married, and twice now. Your question is, what does Messiah mean? Messiah, is it A, king, B, prophet, C, famous one, or D, anointed one?
I'm going to go with B, Bravo.
I was kind of surprised at this too. Messiah actually means the anointed one in ancient Judaism. So Thank you, Michael. Anthony in Atco, New Jersey, W2AJV. If your past self met you today, what would surprise him?
Hello there. Repeat the question again, a little bit slower. W2AJV.
Yes, you are correct. I tend to talk quickly sometimes. If your past self, your former self, met you today, what would surprise them the most?
My past self. Geez, that's a heck of a question. What would surprise them the most if my past self met me today? I think that probably that I am not married, and I wish I were, because my wife passed away 9 years ago, and I lost her to a better man. I lost her to our Lord, and I miss my wife terribly, but God had other plans, and I guess that would surprise my past self the most. So what is my question?
Well, Anthony, I'm sorry for your loss. I don't know how I would deal with it. My wife passed away, but I admire your loyalty to her, not running out and getting married like right away like some people do. My brother-in-law, for example. Your question is, which Christian denomination historically uses the term transubstantiation to describe the Eucharist? Well, that's kind of involved. Is it A, the Lutheran, B, Anglican, C, Roman Catholic, or D, Unitarian?
They are Roman Catholic.
You've been to the Mass, have you, Anthony? That's correct, Roman Catholic. And on the lighter side, there's a song by Tom Lehrer that came out in the 60s, I believe, called The Vatican Rag, where he actually uses that word. It's a parody song, but it's not too bad anyway. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. I'm glad you can make it. Hope to hear you next Saturday. David in Toledo, Ohio, KF8 GTW. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
I think I'd have to say that if I ran into myself, it would be the fact that I've moved back up north. I spent a lot of time in Texas where I was born, and then I was in New England for a short period of time when I was a kid, and then we went back to Texas, and now I live in Toledo. And so I think it would be that I managed to come back up north. I didn't think I'd ever leave Texas.
You left Texas for Toledo? I'm just kidding. I moved away for a while from Arizona, but I always wanted back here. I didn't care for California, Southern California, for obvious reasons, and Oklahoma was okay. Things are affordable out there, but anyway, I understand. Your question is, what is the Jewish ram's horn called? The Jewish ram's horn. You know they got a name for that? Is it A, a menorah, B, a shofar, C, a mezuzah, or D, a...
Oh, that's a hard one. I believe it's either B or C. I'm gonna go with B. Bravo on that one.
Yep, that's the one, a shofar, S-H-O-F-A-R. is what the Jewish Rams were is called. Thank you. Thank you, David. You got it. This is W7FTM along with K8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, going next to Ray in Leesburg, Florida. KO4 LBM. Welcome to the net, Ray, and tell me if your past self met you today, what would surprise the living heck out of them?
That I'm fat and not a rock star.
I know. What happened with that? I learned to play the bass. I did everything right. And, oh well, a lot of competition. You said rock star, right? Your is, which religion teaches the concept of karma and reincarnation? Would that be A, Christianity, B, Islam, C, Hinduism, or D, the church of what goes around comes around? Ray in Leesburg, Florida, K04 LBM, was that you? Alrighty then, no signal. We have one more on the list, and we'll take more check-ins anyway. So, Jerry, Allen, Texas, WA5CBW. Again, the question tonight is, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
This is WA5CBW. It'd probably be how quick my hair turned gray, or how well my daughters turned out. That'd be one of the two. What's my question there, sir?
Oh, you still got hair. That's good. Jerry, your question is, who was the father of Isaac, I-S-A-A-C? Was it A, Abraham, B, Jacob, C, Joseph, or D, Mr. Hayes?
Actually, right now I'm drawing a blank, but I'm going to pick Abraham, WA5CBW.
Abraham is the father of everybody in the Christian and Jewish religion. Yeah, it is Abraham. You got it. Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. All right, that's the end of the call list. Taking more check-ins for the Saturday Night Trivia Net. Full call sign. Phonetically twice, please.
Kilo Quebec 4, Oscar Quebec November. Kilo Quebec 4, Oscar Quebec November.
OSU, not for Ohio State University, in and out.
November Oscar. That's November 0 Sugar. November Oscar Phoenix.
KE0 JBV. That's Kilo
Echo 0, Juliet Bravo Victor.
And we will hold it there. We have picked up KQ4 OQN Dusty in Orlando, Florida. In for OSU Jerry in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Welcome back. I was in and out, I believe. Matthew in Phoenix. Hey, Matt. N0SNO. Hey, how you been? I hear that Sally's doing pretty good lately. And Kelly in Rochester, Minnesota, K0JBV. And the question of the night, of course, is if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? Let's go to Dusty in Orlando, KQ4 OQN.
I think he would be surprised that I'm not rich and retired.
Faith teaches that humanity should strive for A, one universal language only, B, the unity of all people and religions, C, living on mountaintops, or D, people who don't want to kill them. They're the Middle Eastern version of the early Mormons in the U.S., but which of those is true?
Well, this is confusing because the early Mormons had this idea of we're going to go to the mountaintop and wait for Jesus on a certain day, and then it didn't happen. And then they decided on a different day and different day, and then they said, well, we'll just be like everybody else. I don't know. I'm going to go with Bravo.
Very good, Dusty. You know your religious history well. That is true about the Mormons. And it is B, the unity of all people and religions. And, the Middle East, people in the Middle East don't really like the Baha'is. They're not, very dangerous to live there. And Christians are okay. You can live in certain parts. They don't care. But the Baha'is they have a problem with. And you're right again. Thank you. Thank you, Dusty. All right, Matt in Phoenix, Arizona, N0SNO. Mr. No Snow, tell us, if your past met you today, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Oh, Alex, I tell you, am I broadcasting? Yeah. If past me met me today, he would think, wow, you got the girl. Not really. I don't know what he would think. Something's mentally wrong with that guy, Alex. All right, go with your question, bud.
Okay, Matt, your question is, by the way, where's Bubba? He usually checks in at this time. Anyway. Your question is, which Christian feast commemorates the coming of the Holy Spirit upon the apostles? You know, we're famous for our feast. A, Advent. B, Epiphany, C, Pentecost, or C, Potluck Sunday?
No, Alex, because it's you and you're doing your trip I've always loved, I have to say it's Potluck Sunday as long as somebody brings the funeral potatoes and 0SNO back to net control.
Although I would probably agree with that. Technically it's Pentecost, but that's, Pentecost. What always wondered. Yeah, it's the Holy Spirit feast upon the apostles. Thank you. Thank you, man. Glad you can make the net. And finally, Kelly in Rochester, Minnesota, K0JBV. Welcome to the Trivia Net. And if your past met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Well, what would surprise me the most is that
I'm up here right now, and I just changed my cat litter box at 11:41 p.m. My time. And then I take care of my wife. She's had a stroke, and I'm still with her, and I take care of her. And yeah, the stuff I do every night. That's what would surprise them the most. Back to you, and what's my question?
Yeah, it's funny, Kelly. We seem to be leading parallel lives. That's exactly the way it is over here. In suffer a stroke, she has health issues we need to have to deal with and help her with. But interesting. Your question is the Yazidi, a religion is primarily associated with which region? A, Iceland. B, northern Iraq. C, Argentina. Or D, Florida.
I'm going to guess Iceland. I have no idea.
Yeah, I never heard this one either. It's actually the Yazidi religion is associated with northern Iraq. So that means the Kurds, the Yazidis, and several other groups live in northern Iraq. It's unusual. Thank you. I appreciate it, Kelly. Thanks for checking in. Hope to hear you next Saturday, and that's the end of the list. We'll take more check-ins for the Saturday Trivia Net. Phone call signs phonetically twice, please.
Kilo Oscar 6, November, Uniform Sierra.
Victor Alpha 3, Lima Uniform. Victor Alpha 3, Lima Uniform, connecting through Echo Wind. Kilo 7, Tango, Quebec.
Kilo Quebec 1, Uniform Sierra Alpha. Uniform KI5, WW1, Uniform.
Whiskey 7, Sierra Romeo. Whiskey 7, Sierra Mike Romeo.
And we will hold it there. We have picked up Eric in San Jose, California, KO6 NUS. Welcome to the Trivia Net, Eric. Luke in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, VA3LLU. Welcome back. Nicholas at Driggs, Idaho, KK7TQ. Welcome to the net. Jamie in Wetumpka, I think it's Alabama. KQ1 USA. I'm sorry, that's Alaska, isn't it? Anyway, I'll figure it out in a second. Lynn, Houston, Texas, KI5WW. Michael in Riverton, Wyoming, W7SMR. And Craig in Antioch, Illinois, KD9 UKE. Glad you could make it back. The question of the night is, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? And Eric, KO6 in US.
I think for me, to this forum is the fact that I am involved with ham radio. I've been aware of it for decades. I've been around ham radio folks, but got into it. So very happy to be involved. Thank you.
Oh, Eric, you don't know what you're getting into, but it's okay. Those of us who have been in a while understand. And anyway, glad to hear you. Glad you can make the net. Your question is, we're doing History of the World Part 2 as far as world religions. Where was Jesus reported to have been born? Was it A, Mexico, B, Nazareth, C, Jerusalem, or D, Bethlehem?
Easy question because I'm new to amateur radio. Even though he's Jesus of Nazareth, he was born in Bethlehem.
Yeah, you see, that gets a lot of people. They'll say Nazareth, but he was born in Bethlehem. He grew up in Nazareth. So you got it. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. I hope to hear you next Saturday night. Luke in Ottawa, Ontario, VA3LLU. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them?
I just want to say I'm loving your witty comments tonight. You're really funny. I guess the answer for my former self is it's between two. The fact that I'm not yet a millionaire, I guess, and that I'm actually using my ham radio ticket after I've had it for almost 30 years, and I'm finally sitting down and using it lately. So I guess that's what it is. I'm ready for my question.
Luke, there's still time. There's still time. Your question is, the Druze religion, the Druze, D-R-U-Z, originated in which region? Was it A, Scandinavia, B, the Middle East, B, Australia, or D, Hollywood, where they worship founder Tom Druze? Still the same about those comments. What do you say?
I'm going to go with the Middle East, VA3LLU.
And you're correct, sir. Yeah, the Middle East is where the Jews religion originated, and they live. And try it again. They actually live in several Middle Eastern countries, and the disagreements that go on there, but they've managed to survive, so good for them. Thank you. Luke Nicholas, Driggs, Idaho, KK7TK, welcome to the Saturday Night Trivia Night. And the question of the night is, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
A question for me, KK7TQ.
Yes, it is. KK7TQ. Question of the night, then I'll give you a real trivia question.
That one caught me off guard. If my past self that I got to live, that I'm living exactly where I want to. I guess that would be a little bit surprising.
Yeah, really, you wouldn't smack your young self upside the head and said, what were you thinking back then? Well, that's all right. I understand. Good for you, Nicholas, and your question is, which religion originated in Jamaica during the 1930s? Is it A, Tenrico, B, Marleyism, C, Rastafarianism, or D, the Church of Ganja?
These are multiple choice because my first thought was voodoo, so I'm going to say Rastafarian.
You're correct about that too. Voodoo did originate. Rastafarianism, though, voodoo probably goes back further than that. Originated in Jamaica during the 1930s. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie. You got it. And let's see. Oh, Nicholas, I'm sorry. Hang on a second. I'm backtracking here. Jamie, Wetumpka, Alabama, KQ1 USA. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Thank you very much, KQ1 USA. I would have looked up and said, man, I thought you would have had more hair today.
did that stuff go? Anyway, your question is, Jamie, which religion celebrates Diwali, D-I-W-A-L-I? Is that Sikhism, B, Buddhism, C, Hinduism, or D, Diwali-ism?
That's a good question. There's a gas station on the road from me, and they celebrate Diwali, but I don't know what religion they are. I thought it was Hinduism, but I could be wrong. That's going to be my guess, Hinduism.
Very good, Jamie. I thought for sure somebody would miss this one, but you're correct. Yeah, Hinduism celebrates Diwali. It's also known as the Hindu Festival of Lights, with variations celebrated in other Indian religions. But yeah, it's the Hindu Festival of Lights. Very good. Thanks. Thank you, Jamie. Lynn in Houston, KI5WW. I'm glad you can make it, Lynn. If you met your past self today, what would surprise them the most?
Good evening, Alex and Vicki. Thanks for running always entertaining net. KI5WW, Lynn in Houston. I think my past self would probably say, I'm surprised you learned how to fly, and I'm surprised you still live in Houston. Ready for my question, sir?
Thank you, Lynn. You mean flying in an airplane? Pilot? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Vicki knew. Your question, Lynn, is what is the Christian season leading up to Easter called? The season leading up to Easter, is it called A, Advent, B, Lent, C, Hanukkah, and D, Spring?
We'll go with Lent. And yeah, I was getting a private pilot's license. So back to you, sir. KI5WW.
Yes, and congratulations, by the way, on that. It takes a lot of effort. If you pass your X-ray, you can probably pass the pilot license test. And you're correct. It is Lent is the Christian season leading up to Easter. Thank you, buddy. And Michael, Riverton, Wyoming, W7SMR. Welcome to that, Michael. And the question of the night is, if your past self met you today, what would surprise him the most?
SMR here. I think my past self would be surprised that I moved back to my hometown.
Well, that's something we have in common. I left Phoenix for a while, but I just, even with all the heat and other problems, it's still better than a lot of places out there. Thank you, Michael. And your question is, what is the holy month of fasting in Islam called? The holy month of fasting in Islam. Is it A, Hanukkah, B, Vesak, C, Ramadan, or D, Tea month?
It's a tough one for me. I'm going to wind up guessing and saying C, Charlie.
And you are correct. It's Ramadan. Yeah, Ramadan is the holy month of fasting in Islam. Thank you. Thank you for playing. This is W7FTM along with K8VKY. You're listening to the Saturday Night Trivia Net on the East Coast Reflector, at least for a few more minutes. Going to Craig in Antioch, Illinois, KD9QE. I'm glad you made it back, Craig. The question on again is, this year, past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Well, Alex, I did get my turn tonight, but with your permission, might we do about a fair play and ask you a question?
Oh, no, wait a minute. I ask the questions around here. No, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Well, right, Alex, you are just quite the charming net controller, I would ask you the same question. What would you say to your younger self after meeting you and seeing that lush head of hair?
Probably, I should have stuck to a certain plan that I didn't. That's all I'm going to say about it. So, thank you, Craig. By the way, you're in Antioch, which of course has religious references, as you probably know. All right, taking more check-ins. Final call. Full call sign. Phonetically twice, please. We'll get you a question.
Well, not that quick, Alex. You have to ask your question. I was carefully prepared for you.
Let's go. KK7FQZ.
What's his question?
Are you ready, Alex? Or do you want to take more check-ins?
I wish I would have followed the plan I originally had in my earlier life better. So that's what that is. And taking more check-ins. I got Bubba and Tollison, KK7FQZ. Anybody else? Full call sign phonetically twice, please.
Kilo.
Testing. This is Kilo Romeo 4 November X-ray Alpha. Just wanted to see if somebody can help me with a quick little systems check.
Oh, during that? No, just wait a few more minutes. We're about done, and I'm sure someone will help you. And you're a little scratchy. It sounds like you're making the repeater quite well, so boost your power. Oh, I did it anyway, didn't I? Okay, we have Bubba and Tollison and KK7FQZ. Welcome back. And, okay, one more try. Anyone else? And that'll be it. Full call sign phonetically twice, please.
Kilo 4 Victor Tango Juliet KO4 VTJ Gilbert in Orlando.
Okay, let's hold it there. Gilbert in Orlando, is that KQ4 VPJ? Try it again.
VT Kilo Oscar 4 Victor Tango Juliet Gilbert in Orlando.
Okay, got you that time. And all right, that should do it tonight. The question of the night is, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? Let's go to Bubba in Tollison, Arizona, KK7FQZ. There you are.
Yeah, this is KK7FQZ. Hey, Alex, thanks for running the net. And, man, I really don't know how to answer that question, but I'd like to just say hello to you and Mickey, and you guys have a great evening. This is KK7FQZ.
Hang on a second, Bubba. You got to answer the trivia question that's required. Your question is, What is the name of the first woman according to the Bible? Is that A, Sarah, B, Mary, C, Eve, or D, Karen?
Well, I almost want to say Eve, I guess, because it was Adam and Eve. At least I guess she was a woman. KK7FUZ, back to you. Thank you, Alex. You have a great evening, sir.
Oh, yes, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. You're correct. Yeah, it is Eve. Thank you, Bubba. It's just a joke. Don't get upset. Gilbert, Orlando, Florida, KO4 VTJ, KO4 VTJ. If your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most?
Alex on the net. Well, I would say I'd be very pleased to see where I'm at today and what I've been able to achieve and my college degrees and all of that. I was kind of a slacker student as a kid, so I think I'd be pretty happy to see that I made something of myself and that I'm doing well. Anyways, yeah, back to you.
Yep, Gilbert, I understand completely. And your question is, which apostle is known for doubting Jesus' resurrection? Was it A, Peter, B, Thomas, C, James, or D, Simon Cowell?
Oh, I should know this. I'm going to go ahead and take a guess, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Thomas. Hopefully that's right. Go ahead.
And hence is where the phrase doubting Thomas comes from. Yeah, it was Thomas. Thank you. Thank you, Gilbert. All right. Very good. Let's see how we did tonight. Oh, 55 people checked in tonight, checked into the net tonight, and wow, it's an amazing of the people who answered questions and weren't in and out. 40 people got their question correct, and only 11 people missed their question on religious history. Very good. That's 78, a little over 78% to 21%. And as far as the question of the night, if your past self met you today, what would surprise them the most? It looks like where you're living now would be in the lead, followed by hair. Well, not being rich and a few other things, but yeah, it seems to be you never thought you would move from your original spot, so very good. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody who participated tonight. The East Coast Reflector hosts many interesting nets during the week, and don't go by this one. For more information, visit eastcoastreflector.com and select the Nets tab on the main page. We're now returning control of the ECR back to normal amateur use at 10:05 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which most people are not on, to 5:05 a.m. UTC. Until next week at the same time when the control voice will take you to the Eastern Night Trivia Net. 7:30, good night. W7 FTM clear.